into the 3-pack. All right, we've been talking a lot about this, Todd, overcoming interest rate objections, but it's what's on everybody's mind.
Sure.
And you'd mentioned earlier, if you are slow, I am telling you, just go out and have real estate conversations with people and know what's on their mind. So it's not there's very rarely a day that passes that I don't talk to somebody and they're like, I don't want to do anything because interest rates are so high. So I wanted to continue the conversation. So last week, Todd, I talked about this idea of I kept saying, don't focus on the number, right? But I want to expand that. So focus on all the numbers, not just the one number. Because if you just focus on the interest rate, and again, this is what I'm trying to explain to my buyers. If you focus just on the interest rate, it's going to paralyze you. You're going to get caught up in the sensationalism, and you're not going to want to jump in the game. And it's going to really, at the end of the day, keep you from building wealth. There's all kinds of different numbers that go into buying a piece of real estate, such as the price. Okay, you're going to get a better price today than you probably would have 3 months ago. I'm not guaranteeing it, but there's a really good chance. Your home is still expected to appreciate, and there are tax benefits, and there's a level of quality of life from renting versus owning. We're going to jump into some of these details, but it's just helping our buyers, Todd, look at the overall picture of a piece of real estate rather than just the number.
Years ago, we used to have this thing about the 1% origination fee, and when people, because that's the cost of borrowing money, is a 1% origination fee, and it's for the benefit of a loan originator, obviously generating originating the borrower. And so we used to say, Mike, I don't remember, first-time home buyers way back when, the early 90s, you and I, we'd sit back and we go, all right, well, is it beneficial for the person to pay that $1,000 up front, or is it smarter for them to finance it and allow them to add it into the mortgage payment? And then the argument was, okay, well, there's a number of months what are called break even.
Yep.
And so this was just one example of all these different facets that you as a realtor need to be able to have conversations with your buyers to take them off the fence, because realistically, you can assist people. So to the point that Mike was making with interest rate, look at it over time. What's the change in the payment? Okay, if we go to 5 years, from now, if you withstand it for 5 years, at that particular point, if the rates are lower, you can continue to refinance. That's not a problem, and recast it and bring your payment down. Or, of course, start off with an adjustable rate, something at least that you can help you qualify for the property.
And the other thing that I didn't put up here is, I want to wait till I save 20% so I don't have to pay PMI. Okay, so let's do the math.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if I buy a $300,000 property and let's say my monthly PMI payment's $200 a month, people go, I don't want to pay that. Well, by the time that you save 20%, okay, that $200 a month is going to equate to $2,400 a year. You take a look at how much that home is going to appreciate. Okay, if you wait to save, you're losing money, because by the time that you save that 20%, if you ever do, that home is going to be so much more expensive, and you'll have so much equity on the table. Number two is what we know about the Phoenix real estate market. You mentioned earlier, do not get caught up in the national news and the national reporting, because we are on an island to ourselves here in Phoenix. Home prices are, and this is going back to looking at all the numbers, not just the one number. Home prices are expected to appreciate. Rents are expected to go up exponentially. Arizona is still creating jobs.
Big jobs.
And one of the things we talk about, Google alerts. Set up a Google alert for Phoenix jobs or Arizona jobs. That's the kind of information you want to be sending out to your clients. And if you don't know how to set up a Google alert, go into Google and type in, how do I set up a Google alert? And Google will tell you how to do it. And people are scared. Yes, sellers are scared. Everybody's kind of scared right now, staying out of the game, which is going to offer better deals for savvy buyers. And that savvy buyer is that person that says, I'm not going to focus on the one number, I'm going to focus on all the numbers, and realizing this is the opportunity to jump in the game.
It's, this is where you can establish the fact that you truly are an expert practitioner, that you really do have a strong command of the marketplace. And why hire me versus the other realtor? It's because you know this information that we're trying to assist you with. And if you don't, call us. Plug in, go into the office, talk to a coach, talk to Mike. talk to Todd, talk to me, talk to any of us, and we'll certainly be happy to walk you through this. But yes, 8% increase in property values this year, 4% again next year. This is the market where people from all over the United States, Mike, if we remember back in the 90s, people used to come to Arizona because of our 4% appreciation, and they would invest in Arizona because it was so much higher than anywhere else in the country. Yeah. And we looked at each other and went, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're so fortunate. 4%. That means 10 years from now, your house is worth 40% more.
And if you do come in and meet with Todd, he will actually talk in the third person. So it's very entertaining.
I know that person.
All right. And then the third thing that I'm always explaining to my buyers is the way you have to understand how somebody can make money in real estate. When you're trying to help people, not just focus on the interest rate, but take a look at all the numbers. We've talked about appreciation. Homes are expected to appreciate, regardless if interest rates are 6, 6.5, 7%, whatever it is. For me, it doesn't really matter. If you wait 12 months, you're going to be missing out on that 8% appreciation, and you are leaving money on the table. Okay. Number two, you get tax benefits, and that's really all I tell my buyers, because I'm not a CPA, I'm not an accountant, but I know I get certain tax benefits, with my interest payments and so forth. This is the time that you obviously have them talk to an accountant for more clarification. But what I can write off, to me, is income. The more I write off, the more money that I put in my pocket. And then we call it on our team the real estate 401k program. Every time you make a mortgage payment, it's like a forced savings account. Even if your home never, ever, ever goes up in value, which is ludicrous, but let's say it doesn't. Yeah. Over the life of the loan, if you have a $300,000 loan, over the life of the loan, you wake up one day having $300,000 in actual equity, almost cash. Sell it, you can cash out, do whatever you want. It's a forced savings program. Totally. I know if I go out and buy $300,000 worth of stock today, I got to come up with $300,000 to buy $300,000 worth of stock. If I'm going to buy a $300,000 property, 5% down, that's $15,000. All right. Mm-hmm. And now you're paying into your own retirement account. And then the fourth way is if you do maintain that property, when you go move and you turn it into a rental income, you're going to get positive cash flow. You're going to make money. If your mortgage payments, $1,800 and obviously you're renting it for $2,300, that's $500 a month. That's $6,000 a year of just extra income. And the moment that you turn it into a rental property, going back to our real estate 401k program, now you have somebody else investing into your retirement account.
If there's anything of this number 3 that I want everybody to walk away with is be careful who you're asking about how do I make money with real estate? And the reasoning behind that is I have a financial planner, I have a stockbroker, I have a guy that handles, some of our insurance face value stuff. And the point that I'm trying to make is if I were to ask any one of those brilliantly talented people in their specific line of line of work, knowledge base, they're not going to give me the accurate information of one of the other person's specialties. So when you sit down with a realtor, what's a realtor supposed to do? We're supposed to know. We're not supposed to tell people anything. We're not supposed to promise the future. Our job is what's called historical perspective. Our job is to take what's already happened in the past, formulate it in such a way, deliver it to the consumer, not so that we make a better decision, so they make a better decision. But if they ask the wrong person, they're not going to get the true value. If you go and ask your stockbroker about real estate, they're going to go, well, the problem with the real estate is blah, 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 blah. Well, why? Because that person wants you to invest in their stocks. That's how they make money, and vice versa. So just be careful where you get the advice from. But from real estate, if you don't know all the different ways that real estate makes you money, combinations of depreciation,
depreciation as well.
And there's times maybe when you don't want to take depreciation, but I'll leave that question for you to ask your CPA. But again, there's so many opportunities don't be lost because psychologically you think 6% is a high interest rate.
Yeah, and then just going back to point one. So when I take a look at all of these numbers, and I take a look at all the ways that I'm going to make money on a piece of property in our market, 6%, 6.25%, 6.5%, 7%, as long as the numbers are panning out and I'm still making money, then I'm not going to get paralyzed on that number. And I mentioned last week, I'm moved up our timeline on our next property. I mean, I feel like 30 days from now, it's going to be some really good deals to be had.
Will be.
And I'm excited about getting into it. So anyways, that is our 3-pack. All right, Nick, do you have anything to add? You've just been sitting over there quiet.